What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Cozy coming at you with a deck tech video for the first time in a while. And I know you guys have been seeing this leader on the channel a couple of times lately, so I wanted to share it out because it was in the comments section that you guys wanted a deck list for this particular leader. So we're going to go ahead and share the list that I've been running with Jinbe. He is an OP14 leader, 5 life, mono blue. We can activate main, trash 1 card from our hand, move 2 Rested Dawn to any Merfolk or Fishman type leader or character, and we could do this as many times as we want. So the name of the game is to have a good hand size, to discard, to move Dawn around, to be a little bit more aggressive with this list, I feel is the way to run it, with a little bit of some like board control and things like that. So same thing that we've always done with all of our deck tech videos. We're going to start with all the 2Ks that we run in the list. Then we're going to go through the characters going up by cost. Then we're going to look at events and stages if I run them. And pretty much that's going to be the name of the game. So let's go ahead and take a look, starting with our list at the 2K level. Welcome back, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that little intro. It's the same one we've always done, not to lie to you, but hey, it's always nice to have a little bit of a breakup between the introduction of the deck and going into our list here. So the first thing that I do want to share out with you guys is we are running 4 copies of the Koala 2K that came from OP14. It's a 2K counter, 2 cost, 0 power character who has an activate main of trashing this character, and then up to one of our Fishman or Merfolk type leader or characters gets plus 2,000 power for the turn. A lot of times I really run it as a 2K. If I know there's going to be no way for them to really remove the Koala, I'm going to play the Koala out and just kind of let it be there. I can use it to trash itself and to buff one of our Fishman characters, or even buff Jinbe himself, just so that way we can get that extra 2,000 power. Again, it's very matchup dependent. I feel in the yellow matchups, we're going to probably play the Koala and pop it the next turn to give ourselves an extra 2,000 power to something, and really just drive home that aggressive level of just going to life, and hope for the best when it comes to triggers in the yellow matchup, or even just giving them an option to use Dawn or resources to get rid of this Koala. Still perfectly fine for me. I'm really only going to play 1 on board, use the other 3 as 2Ks, just so that way we can hunt them down. Next up, I run 4 copies of the Watatsumi 2K from OP14. 3 cost, 5,000 power 2K counter. This character can't attack. However, if we, whenever a card is trashed from our hand by the cause of an effect, Jinbe leader effect, this character's effects are negated during the turn. So if we pitch a card to Jinbe, put 2 Dawn under Watatsumi, we're now attacking for 7 on a 3 Dawn card, which is really, really powerful in an aggressive matchup. And just something that you want to be kind of mindful of is I might play maybe 1 or 2 Watatsumi just to really put some pressure on the board, especially if I'm not really seeing anything or I'm not high rolling with this particular deck. I'll play out 1, maybe 2 Watatsumi at the most, just so that way I can cycle through the deck as much faster than I can, you put more pressure on the board, and just overall just have a really strong character for them to deal with. And then lastly, I run 4 copies of the Law from OP07. 4 cost, 4,000 power, 2,000 power counter. Activate main, we can return this character to our hand. And then if our opponent has 6 or more cards in their hand, they're going to have to bottom deck 1 of them to go down to 5. Really, really strong in hand control, especially with Pudding being out of the game due to the ban list. This is probably going to be the next best thing that I probably run, especially with this type of package where I'm playing the Warlords, I'm playing the Fishman. Overall, just something to really have a good hand control with is using this 2K law. Play it, bounce, have them get rid of a card, just so that way they're losing value, they're losing tempo in their hand, and just not really seeing what they need to see. So this is my 2K list. I'm running 12 of them overall, which is pretty on par when it comes to this particular leader. I love playing the 12 2K package. I think it's just really, really strong for us to have, and just to really drive home that aggressive level of protection, aggressive level of board control, aggressive towards life, all of that stuff we just want to see going forward. On to our 1-drop characters. Of course, we're going to run 4 copies of Sengoku. It is a 1 cost 2k 1000 counter from OP07, I believe. Yeah, OP07. On play, we're going to look at the top 5 cards to find a 7 Warlords type card and place it into our hand, place the rest at the bottom. As you go through looking at the rest of the list, you'll see all of the Sengoku targets. I'll also highlight them in this video. The first example is the 2K Law. He is a searchable 2K with the Sengoku. Next, I run 4 copies of Arlong from OP14. He is a 1-drop 3000 power, no counter character from OP14. He is a Fish-Man Sun Pirates type character. With on play, we look if our leader is Fish-Man Pirate or is a Fish-Man type leader. We get to look at the top 4 and grab any card that is a cost 2 or higher, which is pretty much everything except Arlong, the Sengoku, and the 4 chews that we run. We'll get to chew here in just a second, but with Arlong, all of our 2Ks are now searchable. With Arlong, all of our events are now searchable. With Arlong, all of our characters are searchable, minus what's right here. So just a very strong card to see. I love seeing Arlong Chew, Arlong Sengoku in the opening hand, especially if we're going second. If we're going first, you still want to play out the Arlong, which is really, really cool. I like playing Arlong out first, just that way I can search for pretty much everything that I need to find, just so that way I can prepare myself going into the next few turns. Lastly, in the 1-drop section, we run 4 copies of Chew. It is a 1 cost 3000 power, no counter character, Fish-Man Sun Pirates from OP14. On play, if our leader is the Fish-Man type, we just draw a card. It replaces itself in hand. Really, really good. Great for Jinbe effect to put 2 Dawn under him or the Arlong to swing 5k, especially after they've used their on-play effects. So, outside of that, we now jump forward into our character list, starting with the 4 drops that we run, which is quite a lot. This is a very mid-rangey aggro style deck, which I absolutely love. I love this deck so much. I'm sure you guys have seen on the channel that it's been rather successful. At the time of recording this, I've gotten some games in with it. Right now, I'm 7 wins, 5 losses with it. Overall, it's been really, really strong to play, really fun to play, throwing a lot of people off, and they just don't know how to deal with it. I'll go over some of the meta decks that I've been playing against at the end of the video, just so that you guys know what's going on. First up, we run 4 copies of the recently unbanned Jinbe from OP07. He is a 4 cost, 5000 power, 1000 power counter character who is a Fish-Man, 7 Warlords of the Sea Sun Pirates character who has the on-play effect of we can play up to 1 7 Warlords type character card with a cost of 4 or less from our hand, just to cheat out a character. Of course, you can't play Jinbe off of it, which is fine. Don't want to be spamming Jinbes out like that anyway. But the reason why I wanted to highlight this card first is because everything else we can play off of Jinbe going forward. As an example, we can play the 2K Law using Jinbe to bounce it to get rid of somebody's card for additional flexibility. Run 4 copies of Edward Weevil from EBO1, who is just a 4 cost, 6000 power, no counter, 7 Warlords of the Sea type character, who has the on-play effect of drawing a card. So we can go Jinbe Weevil, which is a very classic Doflamingo combo that will net us just a -1 when it comes to cost or hand size. Because we're going to play the Jinbe, we're going to play the Weevil. The Weevil is going to replace itself on the on-draw effect. So really we're only losing out on the Jinbe, but we're getting 8 Dawns worth of value for 4, essentially. The last 4 drop we run, of course, is the other Trafalgar Law from ST17, the Doflamingo starter deck. 4 cost, 5000 power, 1k counter, 7 Warlord of the Sea Heart Pirates type character. On play, we can return one of our characters to the owner's hand, and if our leader is a 7 Warlords of the Sea type leader, we can return up to one of our opponent's characters, or we can return to any character with a cost of 4 or less to the owner's hand. So great for using it as a bounce effect. So we can play the Law, like in the Lucy matchup as an example. We go Jinbe into Law, we can bounce the Law, or we can bounce one of our 1-drops that we have on board to add protection or to utilize its effects later on, and get rid of like their Cavendish as an example. Really, really strong, especially in like the lower push decks. So like getting rid of Perona in Black Yellow Moria, getting rid of Hogback in Black Yellow Moria, the Cavendish, the Leos, the Rebeccas in Lucy, bouncing a couple of other cards in like the new Sky Island Luffy, the Zoro if we really wanted to, but we really don't want to because then they're just going to heal again. So it's very situational on what we want to do, but great for board control and great for adding pressure because we could just leave him out, bounce a 1k to our hand, or a 1 cost to our hand, and really just push for either like additional board control, getting rid of a blocker, whatever we really want to do. We're going to see it go forward. Next, we're going to get into our 6 drops. Not a lot of 6 drops. There's only 6 of them. 4 of them is going to be the Boa Hancock from OP07, a 6 cost 8k character with no counter, 7 Warlords of the Sea, and Kuja Pirates type character. On play, up to one of our opponent's characters other than Monkey D. Luffy cannot attack until the end of their next turn. And then we can bottom deck a 1 cost or less on our opponent's side. So great, again, for the board control. Great for really pushing for game, pushing for lethal, and really just making sure that we have a big body going on board. This is a very even curved deck, so going second is your more optimal curve, especially because we can go turn 1, we play like Chu and Arlong. Turn 2, we go Jinbe Weevil. Turn 3, we go into Boa. And then turn 4 onward, we're just playing value. Speaking of value, the other card that we do run in the 6 drop slot is Fisher Tiger. I'm only running 2 of it. There was only room for 2 in the deck, and didn't really know what else I wanted to put in here. Fisher Tiger is such a great card, in my opinion, with this deck, because his on play is that if our leader is a Fishman type, we draw 3 cards. The downside, at the end of the turn, we have to discard our hand down to 5 cards, which, using Jinbe's leader effect, 3 of those cards are automatically gone because of Fisher Tiger. We can just go ahead and discard 3 to put the 6 rested Dawn we used for Tiger under something else or some things else and put pressure on the board, put pressure to life, things like that. But the Fisher Tiger gives us good draw fodder in order for us to really resculpt our hand, draw into some really good counter, draw into our bombs, draw into the bosses, whatever we really want to do. This is how we're going to do it. Using Fisher Tiger as one of our draw engines and our draw enabler, especially as we get towards the mid to late game. The last card I want to go through is our big boss monster for the entire deck. That's going to be 4 copies of Jinbe. He is from OP14. He is a Fishman, 7 Warlords of the Sea, Sun Pirates type character, 8 cost, 10,000 power with no counter. When a card is trashed from our hand by an effect, this character gains rush during the turn. And on play, we can rest 2 Dawn to draw 2 and bounce a 7 cost or less to our opponent's hand. This has been really, really good in the Lucy matchup. On our 10 Dawn turn, we're going to play the Jinbe, use the 2 Dawn to draw 2, bounce one of their Sabo blockers back to hand to really put pressure on. Discard a card, put 2 Dawn under him. He becomes a 12,000 power rush character that they're going to have to eventually try to deal with or figure out, especially with the events that we run in this particular deck. Jinbe is going to be really, really strong. Bo is really, really strong in this deck. And looking at the reason why is because we run 2 copies of Perfume Femur and 2 copies of Gravity Blade. Gravity Blade, funnily enough, is searchable with Arlong, which is really good for us to see. If we see it, we see it. If we don't, we don't. It's really in here as a tech option. You'll see it in future videos after you see the deck tech for today. I'm trying it out. Originally, I was running 4 Femur, just that way I had the unblockable, I have the draw trigger, just overall trying to make sure that we can push for lethal and push for game before they hit their 10 Dawn turn or they get insane amounts of value. So my thought process is with the Gravity Blade is for the Swarm decks, the lower end body decks, so like Black Yellow Moria, even some things in Lucy, we're going to go ahead and try to Gravity Blade just to bottom deck them. I feel bottom decking is still the best removal in the game. You can't get access to things that are at the bottom of the deck, so that's kind of my thought process behind Gravity Blade is what can I do to get rid of some of these pressure bodies? Even in Blue Yellow Nami, we can get rid of 6 cost or less characters. So that's going to be like the Nami. That's going to be Zoro's. That's going to be the Secret Luffy's from OP15. So like we're going to be getting rid of a lot of pressure bodies that the set has really brought out and really is a contender into some of the top decks in the meta. Speaking of top decks in the meta, I do want to go over a couple of the matchups really quick. So Black Yellow Moria is somewhat difficult just because if they can loop Peronas, the deck really isn't capable of handling being stunned. It wants to turn all of its characters sideways as much as possible. And so kind of what we want to do is we want to try to remove those bodies or remove the options for Peronas as fast as possible. And then, of course, finding ways to take down some of their bodies, especially because in this deck, as you noticed, we don't run blockers. We don't run counter events. This is just all gas, no brakes, which is more fitting for my playstyle. It does have some board control options and bounce effects, but ultimately what you want to do is just focus primarily on swinging and using board control through attacks or pressuring life with attacks, especially with the Jinbe leader effect giving us an additional 2,000 power on the board, especially for playing characters and building a board presence. Lucy, oddly enough, is a pretty good matchup with us. Essentially, they're only holding out till 7 Sabos, which we can deal with pretty well. They don't really run a lot of pressure bodies except the Cavendish, which we have ways to bounce it. We have ways to bottom deck it. And we have ways to stun it. So they're not really getting a lot of value out of the Cavendish. And by the time they start playing Sabos, we should be getting close to playing and looping our Jinbes. To play Jinbe, bounce it, swing. Play Jinbe, bounce it, swing. And really just dealing with Blue-Red Lucy is not much of a challenge for this particular leader, which I absolutely enjoy. Purple Enel, I haven't really had a whole lot of matchups into it, to be honest. But from what I have kind of collected in observation of the deck and playing it in the one match that I do have coming out on the channel here pretty soon, is the Searchers are going to be clearing out the Vassal bodies rather quickly. And really the only thing we have to worry about is the Secret Enel and the Blocker Enel, which the bow is going to be there to stun them, especially if we don't want to deal with the Vassals with a Searcher body swing. We can play Boa, stun the Secret Enel or the Blocker Enel if they have it and they haven't used the blocker effect, and bottom deck one of the Vassals, which tremendously helps out for us because then we can trash a card from our hand and swing 5 with one of the Searcher bodies that we have, the Chu or the Arlong, to really put more pressure on their life. And kind of just go for lethal before they can really set up the Enel kind of wall that they have with secrets and blockers. If you guys want to learn more about different matchups and things like that, just ask me in the comments below what leader you want to kind of see me talk about, and I'll reply to the comments. I reply to every single comment that comes out to my videos, so you always have the ability to ask me questions. I'll be more than happy to answer them in the comments, just so that way you can get a better idea of how Jinbe operates with this particular list going into the meta, which I feel has been tremendous in this outlook. But overall, this is my Jinbe list. I've been having a lot of fun playing this leader. I feel it does really well into this meta, and I'm really excited to see how far I can take this. It's already won locals and has been in top contention at every locals that I've played, either going even or ending up X1, or even in the locals that we won, we went undefeated 4-0 with this particular leader. So this is just a really strong deck in my opinion. If you guys want to check it out, please by all means, put it in the sim, play it to your heart's content, or if you want to pick up the cards, I've already put the prices and everything at the time of recording, how much the regular cards are and their alts, if they have them. If they don't have them, I think I put the pre-release stamp option if you wanted to make it a little bit more fancy. But overall, the deck is pretty fun to play. I enjoyed playing it. Luckily, I had most of these cards already, so I didn't spend a lot of money. But I did put the total in this video as well if you are looking to play this leader at base rarity, as well as if you were looking to fully alt out the deck. I did not include SPs, so like the SP Weevil and the like manga boa I'm not going to put in there. Just traditional alternate art cards, just that way you can have a little bit fancier of a deck without hitting your wallet as much as like playing the high max rarity version of this deck. But this is my Jinbe list. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed these deck tech videos and you want more of them, please let me know in the comments. But also make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell just so that way you don't miss our next upload. We are uploading every single day, whether it's a deck tech or a gameplay video. So by all means, keep checking out the channel. And again, I thank you guys for your support, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace and love, y'all.
Thanks for riding with the vibe. Cozy games every time. Pulling leaders, making plays on the line. Sailing through the grand line, strategy refined. Catch your next match, stay locked in the grind.